So please introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Sir, I am Aryan Chaurasia.
Okay.
I am from UP. I have completed my Bachelor of Engineering from SAM College of Engineering Technology, Bhopal, with Computer Science. During my engineering, I learned Java, MySQL, and data structures. After my college, I joined Udals Technology as a fresher. In Udals Technology, mainly I work two projects. The first is Udals Dashboard, second is Udals.com. In both projects, mainly I work three microservices, and
Okay.
after and I have also certified certification from HackerRank,
Okay.
Java.
Java
Yes, sir.
certification.
Yes, sir. And mainly I work on microservices and Spring Boot and sir, that's all, sir. And Java also and MySQL.
Okay. So if you want to rate yourself in Java out of 10, how much you can give?
Yes, sir. 7 in
7.
Java.
7
Yes,
it
sir.
means it's a good point.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's start with the Java. So we can discuss something about Java and some of the concept. Then we can go with the some framework and project. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So in Java, do you have an idea about wrapper classes? Like what is the use of it?
Yes, sir. Mainly, sir, wrapper class wrap the primitive data type to non-primitive data type.
Okay.
Just like we have a int, we wrap in mainly integer, and if we need to change another, that we can change.
Okay. Someone I have read some of the blog and I have see somebody people are saying Java is a 100% programming language, like object oriented programming language, and some of
Yes, sir.
article is saying not a 100% programming language. So what about your
Uh,
opinion?
Sir, Java mainly we say that approx 100% object-oriented programming language because of, sir, in Java some issues because that's a primitive data type. But we have just like wrapper class to convert non-primitive, just like object. We can convert primitive to non-primitive with the help of wrapper class, and that's our, sir. We say that, sir, I approx 100%, that, sir. Java is 100% object-oriented programming language.
Okay, fine. Okay. Do you have an idea about what is the use of abstractions in Java?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know, sir. Abstraction mainly, sir, used for hiding the details. Just
Okay.
we mainly achieve two types of with the help of two types. First, with the help of interface. Second, with the help of abstract class. In the, sir, abstract class, we achieve zero or 100%. But in the case of interface, we achieve zero or 100%. But in the case of abstraction, we achieve between 0 to 100%, because in abstract, if we create any we achieve any abstraction with the help of abstract class. That's case, sir, mainly, sir, we have to create or not, mainly abstract method we have to create or not. But in the case of interface, we have to create a abstract class, abstract method, not but in after Java 1.8, that's are modified. We can create or not, just like default method. And, sir, we say that static method that are not abstract, sir.
Okay. Do you have an idea about what is the functional interface?
Yes, sir, I know, sir. Functional interface,
So
mainly,
what is
sir,
the difference
those
between
those
functional interface and normal interface?
Okay, sir. Mainly, sir, functional interface have single method, but normal interface have too many methods. But that's a depend on me. And, sir, we create functional interface mainly for we have to create a single method, or we use at the rate functional interface. If you use at the rate functional interface, that's are allow only one method.
Okay.
And sir, that's are also used in lambda expression for reducing the number of code lines, sir.
Okay. So do you think lambda expression we are using for reducing a line of the code only?
No, sir. Yes, sir. That's a reducing line of code, and yes, sir. That's one, sir.
Okay.
That
Okay.
that's make easy and understandable, sir.
Okay, fine.
Understandable, sir. Sir.
Do you know what is the difference between method overloading, method overriding?
Yes, sir. I know, sir.
Okay.
Mainly, sir, in the case of method overloading, we create in same class number same name of method and different parameters, just like argument, where just we change argument three types: first, number of argument; second, sequence of argument; and third, type of argument. And in the case of overriding, we acquired some, just we acquired something, extend something, then method, then class name is different, but method name is same, and parameters is also same. We override parent class properties there, sir. Override means, sir, we write in child class some same method, that's we return our own value, sir.
Okay. If parent class in method overriding, in parent
Yes,
class
sir.
having a one method called public void get,
Yes, sir.
and we are trying to override those method in child class like
Yes, sir.
private void get. Is it possible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is it possible, sir?
But parent class having a public and
Yes,
subclass
sir.
having a private.
Yes, sir. I think, sir, that's are possible, sir. Because of, sir, because public parent class are, sir, public, that then we can extend in our child class.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know like HashMap how it's internally work?
Yes, sir. I know, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I will explain. Sir, mainly hash map store the value in the form of key and value pair.
Okay.
Just, and second thing, that's are working on the hashing logic, and use data structure, ha- just a hash table, sir. Mainly we face some issue in the case of hash map, that's are known as collision. If two hashing value is same, then we face that issue, sir. Collision hashing value, just like we have five element. First is a 2, second is a 7. That's case five element. Then we if we take mod, then 2 are also 2. Then 7 are mod also 2. That's are, sir, collide each other. But in Java, we we, sir, mainly, sir, we we re, we handle collision two types. First is a open addressing. Second, with the help of chaining. In the case of such chaining, we use two methods. Just we have linked list concept and tree concept. And in the case of, sir, open addressing, we have three methods. First is a linear quadratic, and linear. Second is quadratic, and third is open addressing. No, sir. Third is, sir, mainly double hashing, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Mainly, sir, that's our stored value. First is four things are in hash map. Hash map is not value in sequence order, because of, sir, that's use hash table. In hash table, that's using linked list. First is a hashing. Second is a key, and third is a value, and the fourth is a, sir, list. Fourth is a, sir, next, because of that's our implement a linked list, sir.
Okay. So do you
Yes, sir.
think equals and hash code methods are necessary to implement hash table or hash map?
Yes, sir, that's are needed, because of, sir, hash dot get hash code return, we have a hash value, and equals method for comparing that's are equals or not, sir.
Okay. What is the use of concurrent hash map?
Mainly, sir, a concurrent hash map is just synchronized. So if we need anything, just we have to multiple thread, then we use that method, sir.
So,
Concurrent.
what is the
Then
meaning of synchronize or asynchronous?
mainly, sir, synchronized means just if multiple thread coming, that are executing one by one, and in and mainly, sir, non no, sir, only if we any things are, sir, synchronized, then if multiple things come, that's are execute single time. If you non synchronized, that's, sir, that's case multiple thread come, but that's are executed one by one according to his priority, sir. That's our mainly thread logic, sir.
Okay. So,
Yes,
in
sir.
collection, do you have an idea about like what are the collections are
Yes, sir.
synchronized?
I work. Yes, sir. I work more in collection, sir.
Okay. Do you know a string buffer?
Yes, sir. I know, sir. String buffer.
So, why we are saying a string buffer is a thread safe?
Mainly, sir, because of, sir, because of, sir, that's are synchronized. String buffer is, sir, synchronized, sir. So
Okay.
if multiple thread coming, that's are executed one by one, sir. That's are, sir, known as synchronization.
Okay. Do you have idea about why we are saying a string is a immutable?
String is immutable, yes, sir. Because of, sir, string created in heap memory and SCP, string constant pool.
Okay.
In the case of, sir, string constant pool, if we create any object, if we create two object in SCP, sir, both are pointed. If name are same, sir, both are pointed same. If we add anything, that's, sir, create a new object, not modifying that, sir. So that's are known as, sir, immutable. If we add anything, just like string, we have rm. If you think for adding title, just like Chauresia. So, sir, that's are creating new object, not adding, sir, old object. We can't change old object. That's are, sir, known as immutable. So we say that, sir, string is immutable.
So, if I want to create my own class as a immutable, what I
Yes, sir.
have to do?
Mainly, sir, first thing we create a class. We create those class that are, sir, mainly class is a final. We remove setter method and create two variable, just a getter method. If we add something new, then we create new objects, sir.
Okay.
And we also, sir, create variable is also final, sir.
Okay. Fine. Can I give any coding questions? Do you have an idea about logical questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can do, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to share one code with you.
Okay, sir.
Let me share it.
Sir, can I share screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sir.
If you have any doubt, please ask me.
Okay, sir. Order of. Okay, sir. Sir, we have to print A2 same, A2, just A2 or B2 according to, sir, their, sir, frequency.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, can I use online GDB
You can
for?
use your ID also or online also, whatever you can comfortable.
Okay, sir.
Maximize your screen. Eclipse.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thanks.
Then C dot left. First we create hatchback. Teacher. Straight. Position. F1. Key. C. C. Okay. Then. Dot key. Then we. Orbit. Sir, one second. Someone calling.
Okay, okay, noise.
Hello. Hello. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Please continue.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, sir. Yes, sir.
Maximize the screen so it will
Okay, sir.
look.
Management. A plus 1. Otherwise, okay. Appreciating city lesson has said the hotel the hotel see and over and as well and okay. Yes, and use Yes, plus first key get value something plus
Is it done?
okay sir hello
Is it done?
1 second sir 1 second
Okay.
yes sir that's all I think okay
Okay. Print the output.
I think sir see command line exception occur executing
Click on details.
sorry sir, details
Yeah, again run
okay sir
details. Command line.
do I think sir that's our workspace issue
Okay. So copy this
Okay.
code and go to the online and run it.
okay sir online GDB yes sir
Yeah. Import the also
Java
import statement.
okay sir yes sir it's simple sir. Order of occurrence print character okay sir that's I think sir that's
Yeah.
entry import Java util dot into server equal to copy C dot copy. Yes, sir. That's a printed now, sir.
but it's printing opposite. Okay, but nice, fine.
Okay, sir.
And
Okay,
here
sir.
you have taken some of the extra variable which is not required, like line number 23, if you see 24. Okay, you
Yes, sir.
can,
We can remove that, sir.
yeah.
We can remove them. We have to only copy and that's a
Also,
paste.
while iterating a like map, we does not require to write all those things. You can take the help of the for each loop, and easily you
Yes,
can
sir.
iterate it. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is the coding questions we have done. Okay, fine. Let's go with the
Okay, sir.
sum framework. Okay. Stop your
Okay, sir.
screen.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you some questions related to the Spring Boot. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
can you please tell me what is the IOC container?
Mainly, sir, IOC container is a type of container that's where creating object. Those are known as beans, sir.
Okay.
Mainly, sir, if you auto add any class with the annotation at the rate auto add, that's a class name goes in IOC container, and in IOC container that's our check, that's our object created or not, being are created or not. That's our, sir, mainly that's our working of IOC container, sir.
Okay. So mainly IOC container is maintaining the whatever the life cycle of having an object. Okay,
Yes, sir.
nice. Okay. What is the dependency injection?
Mainly, sir, dependency injection. We if we merge two object in same class, just like we create any domain. If we map any class in our domain, that's our working of a dependency. Dependency injections are merge both class in same, sir.
Okay.
Just
What are the
at the
types
rate
of the
of,
dependency injection?
sir, I am not idea
Like
about, sir,
setter
type of.
injection, constructor injection.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know, sir. That's setter and constructor, and sir, one is one, sir. We can.
Okay, fine. Okay, can you please tell me quickly what is the difference between monolithics and microservice architecture?
Yes, sir. Mainly, sir, in monolithic, our we have only one application, bigger application. But we face some issue in monolithic, because, sir, if you deploy any things, if you add something, if you add new feature, that we have to deploy whole application. And, sir, mainly if any cause our application is if we change any application, that's are not correct, that's whole application is down. But in the case of microservices, sir, we break our application in many microservices on the basis of their business, according to their business, just like we have just user. If single project, we have single project, just we have user microservices, and another. In, sir, microservices we deploy single microservices, and, sir, we can communicate the microservices mainly two types. First is synchronous, and second is non-synchronous.
Okay. So I want
Yes,
to
sir.
communicate one microservices to the another microservices. What is the
Yes, sir.
approach and what is the technology I have to follow it?
Sir, first we can communicate with the help of REST template.
Okay.
And, in the case of REST template, mainly we have to, sir, create at the rate we using at the rate race template and creating one method, those are written race template. And we have some dependency. And sir, only that things we have only creating one object just being, that's we have used race template. And sir, we have a web and a web client way. And third is a fin. With the help of sir fin client, we can communicate one microservice to another, sir.
Fusion client.
Fin, just like fin, sir. We creating one fin interface, and sir, we have enable something, and sir, we we can call our same method.
So,
Yes.
what is the difference between REST template and web client?
Many sir, race template are deprecated because of sir, that's are calling one method. Just we calling one method, just request is go, and after request is coming, that's our call another method. But in the case of sir web client, we call another one method, and only he request that's our sir asynchronous, sir. We can request one time many things, just one go, second go, and but that's our sir.
Okay.
That's not sir waiting for response, sir. In the case of REST template, that's are waiting for response.
Okay. So, in a Spring Boot, what are the annotations are available? What
Yes,
are
sir.
the annotations you have already used it? Can you please tell me?
Yes, sir. Mainly, I used at the rate Spring Boot application in the service Spring, and at the rate controller, at the rate service, at the rate data, and at the rate entity, at the rate table, and at the rate REST controller, at the rate controller, at the rate repository, and at the rate auto wired, and sir, we also use at the rate cacheable or caching, and sir, we sir, that's our, we have many annotation we used
Okay.
at the rate component scan, two minutes, sir.
So, what is the use of component scan?
Many sir, component, in the case of component scan, that's are sir scanning, those are inside a single, just we have one just sir, we have one just that's are sir that's are scanning sir internal sub packages, sir, at the rate component scan.
Okay. For example, I want
Yes,
to
sir.
scan something like outside of our package classes. Then,
Yes, sir. In this case, sir, we use at the rate component scan, sir, outside, sir. Use outside, that's our sir scanning whole thing, sir.
okay, so we can
But
say like component scan, it will parameterize or non-parameterize also. So it will scan the sub classes package also. And also if you
yes,
want to
sir.
scan the externals, you can give the proper package name, it will scan those also.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Do you have an idea about like what is the difference between at the rate controller and REST controller?
Yes, sir. Mainly at the rate REST controller, REST controller returning at the rate response body, and at the rate controller return HTTP response. And sir, at the rate REST controller equal to sir at the rate controller plus at the rate request body, sir.
So when we can use REST controller and when controller?
Mainly, sir, if you need to return any HTTP form, that's we use at the rate controller. And if you need, sir, any JSON value return, that in that case we use at the rate REST controller, sir.
I want to return XML value. What I have to do?
Sir, in this case, we have to use at the rate controller, sir.
XML value I have to return.
Yes, sir. In this case, sir, that's are working, sir. At
So,
the rate, both are working, but we only use at the rate controller. That's are also, sir. Fine.
okay. What is the difference between post and put HTTP
Yes, sir.
method?
Yes, sir. Mainly, sir, at the rate post is used for use just according to sir standard. Mainly, that's are used for creating new things, sir. But in the case of we use at the rate put according to standard at for updating some data, sir. But sir, in the case of at the rate put, we update 1 to 3 data. But in the case of at the rate post, we have to send a bigger object. In this case, sir, we use at the rate response body. Just we shared any body in the form of sir object. Just that's are created internally, sir object. That's a sir we use at the rate post for creating something.
For
And sir
example,
put
I
for
want to register one user
yes, sir.
with the help of the REST
In this,
API.
yes, sir.
Which method I can take?
Mainly, sir, we use at the rate post, sir.
Okay.
Because sir, that's our object. We have to send the object.
Can you please tell me the flow, like if you want to register any of the users in your database?
Yes, sir.
So what is the flow? What is the code we have to write?
Okay, sir. Sir, first we write our URL.
Okay.
After in the controller, sir. In the controller, also we create one URL class just where we can fetch, sir. But sir, after sir first hit come on controller. In controller, sir, we hit after controller move on sir service layer. Just service layer move on sir repository, sir. Repository is those where sir we can set our data and remove, delete and many things, sir. And sir we create new object and sir that object we put on our just call method from repository and save that's what, sir.
Okay.
That's all,
Let's
sir.
take one example. For example, I have some data in UI.
Yes, sir.
For
Yes, sir.
example, name, ID, email ID, phone numbers, everything. And I
Yes, sir.
want to send those data to the particular controller. So what is the
Yes,
code
sir.
we have to write to accept those particular data in the controller?
Sir, first we create one DTU, sir.
Okay.
In DTU, sir, we use mainly, sir, at the rate data for data on the sir DTU. That sir, we write annotation at the rate response body, and sir, we write our those just like class
Why we
name
have write
and
at the rate data?
at the rate data, sir, mainly that's we say that that's our created getter setter internally, sir, and that's also implement, sir, at the rate table entity. But we doesn't need, sir, for at the rate entity for we doesn't need, sir, table. Only, sir, we required only getter setter. Or sir, we can create normally getter setter method, sir, for
Okay.
setting or getting the. We can use, sir. We can, sir, use that thing, sir. But we can also use at the rate getter at the rate setter, sir.
Okay. So how data we can receive into the controller method?
Sir, mainly, sir, that's hits go on, sir, first service. That's our, sir, service on move on, sir, repository fetch the data from our table, and sir, that's our show on service are, sir, return the value on the that's our service return the value on, sir, controller.
Yeah, that
Controller
is
just, sir,
fine. That is cool. But I'm asking like how data we can receive. Like we have some annotations like at the rate request body, request param.
yes, sir.
So do you have idea about
Mainly,
it?
sir, yes, sir, I know, sir. That's a return. That's a return, sir, form of object. We create, sir, one request form object. Just, sir, we HTTP form, sir. HTTP we create one object HTTP just like, sir, saving any data, sir. That's a return, sir. Sir, I have not more idea about sir.
Okay.
No, sir, I know, sir, but I implement, but I didn't understood, sir, which types of body we return.
Okay, okay. So in Spring Boot, or you can say REST API, while
Yes,
accepting
sir.
a JSON data or XML data, we are taking the help of the some of the notations like
Yes,
request
sir.
body, request param, request path.
Yes,
So
sir.
those are very useful information while writing any REST API. Okay, so you have to remember it, like how it's calling it and how they are accepting the data and how they are returning a data
Okay.
also. Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to ask, like for example, in your applications. So like, what are the project you have done as of now? How many projects?
Sir, mainly I work on two projects. First is sir udas.com. Second is udas dashboard, sir. Just dashboard for both are sir internal projects, sir.
Okay, it's a company internal project.
Yes, sir, internal project.
Can you please tell me about your project?
Sorry, sir.
Explain me your project.
Yes, sir. For mainly, sir, my project is internal. Mainly, I work on project microservices. In project microservices, all project those are running in our company, and those are also close open. That's we are show in our project. Mainly, sir, that's a two flow for creating project. First is sir, our internal project. We create on project page. Those are sir external project we create from many sir those are external project we create on sales lead. We acquired project and project thus mail are go BD team, BD assigned manager. If manager are more than 5% aligned, more than 5%, that's project are open. That's our sir our flow of project. And sir we the and sir one another flow, sir project are just we doesn't look all project on single page. Look sir, that's are sir looking according to sir their just we say that looking according to role, sir. Just we have in our company, I think 5 to 6 role. First is E1, that's our junior developer. Second is E2 for senior developer, and third for lead M0. Those are lead, that's our M0, and M1 for junior manager, and L2 for M2 for second senior manager, sir. According to role we show data in sir our project page. And sir we have also user microservices. User microservices and user data. Those data are present. Those user are working in our company, sir. And those are sir also resigned. That's have also data there, sir. And we have also one recruitment project. Recruitments are microservices. In recruitment microservices are mainly for recruiter. That's new people coming and so more, sir. And interview conducted also there. And we have also account microservices. Account answer mainly those have account salary and many things are sir sharing according to that, sir. And we have also Joule microservices. That's are sir those for sir securing our application. And we have also registry service. That's our Eureka service. Those are thinking where data where API hits are moving. That's sir.
Okay. So basically, your project is related to the, like for HR,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
recruitment process or management of the teams of the company.
Yes, sir. That's up for management.
Okay. What are the technology you have used?
Mainly, sir, in technology we use
Okay.
Spring, and MySQL for database, sir.
Okay. So do you have a
And
idea about
microservices.
MySQL?
Yes, sir. I know, sir. MySQL.
Okay, fine. So if I want to join two tables, okay.
Yes, sir.
For example, we have a
Yes, sir.
table employee or something like college, and we have to join it
Yes, sir.
from both the
Yes, sir.
tables, we have to fetch the data. So,
Yes, sir.
what is the query for that?
Yes, sir. We write. Sir, can I write on normal page
Yes, sure.
or okay, sir. Okay, sir. Firstly, I shared my screen, sir.
Yes, sure.
Okay, sir. Sir, can I use online SQL or write that type, sir?
No, just open the notepad and write it.
Okay, sir. Select store from employee, employee, E on left join, left join. Sir, for college, sir, college, sir,
Yes.
second
Yeah,
table
college.
नहीं college. Okay, sir, college, college, college. C employee left join college C on C dot ID college ID equal to E dot E dot college not college ID ID. Sir, it's completed now, sir.
Okay. Copy it and paste on notepad.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Select a star from employer.
Employee E left join college C on C dot ID college dot ID college की ID सर E dot college ID जो सर employee में हमारे मतलब मैपिंग के थ्रू क्रिएट होते हैं अगर हम उसमें मैपिंग की कॉमन चीज़ें हैं तो
Okay. Yeah, fine.
ओके सर
Okay. Do you have idea about global exception handling?
यस सर मेनली आई वर्क ऑन ग्लोबल एक्सेस एंड सर
Stop sharing your screen.
ओके सर
Yeah. So, do you have an idea about global exception?
Yes, sir. I know, sir. Global exception. Mainly, sir, in the case of global exception, we handle we use I think, sir, at the rate use on controller at the rate something at the rate, sir. Actually, at the rate some annotations are just like global annotations here, and we can also we create one class which where sir we representing each exception. We also use their one annotations, and we that's our call, sir, when any exceptions are occur, just like null pointer, sir. We creating null pointer, and sir we implement in our project, sir. We implement in our previous project, just like, sir, if any exception occur, that's the mail goes to somewhere those are registered for any, just like null pointer occur, that's a, sir, globally handled, sir, just and share the one mail, sir.
Okay.
But sir, we doesn't share mail, but we can only handle them.
Okay, fine. Okay. One more questions I will ask related to the Spring
Yes,
Boot
sir.
only. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, like in a Spring Boot, we are not adding any of the like any server, we can say. So, what is the default server we have while creating a Spring Boot application?
Default server means sir Tomcat. Tomcat is sir only
Okay.
in there, sir.
If I want to configure, or for
Yes, sir.
example, I have some data in properties file,
Yes, sir.
and those data I want inside some of classes, what I have to do?
Yes, sir. Sir, mainly, sir, we have to. Sir, actually, I'm not more idea about, sir.
Okay, so basically I am asking, like in application.properties file we are giving some external data, and
Yes, sir.
in some point of time we need those data inside the classes also. So while reading
Yes,
those
sir.
data from properties file to our classes, we have some
Yes, sir.
annotations to read those data. So I am asking, do you have
Yes,
an
sir.
idea about it?
Yes, sir. I'm not idea about, sir, because I doesn't use
Okay,
like this,
so
sir.
it's a
Now,
one of the
yes, I'm
annotations
trying
we
to
have
learn.
at the rate value.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
with the
Okay,
help
sir.
of that rate value, we are reading those data from the properties file. Okay. If
Okay, sir.
I want to configure my database in
Yes,
application
sir.
like Spring Boot application, what is the steps I have to
Yes,
follow?
sir. Sir, mainly, sir, we write in a application dot properties just just like, sir, data so just we, sir, define URL data source dot spring dot data source dot URL, sir, equal to our, sorry, sir, first we, sir, create driver, sir. Driver just like spring data source dot driver dot class name. Just we write there, write our sir, just JDB is how to, sir. Sir, actually I forget name. But, sir, after we I write URL for URL. Second we write password. Third we write name, sir. Password, sir. Yes, sir. Name DB name, sir. Just in password, sir.
Okay.
Username and password. Just username you write root, sir. Root our MySQL. And, sir, another is password. Just those are password of MySQL. And second, sir, URL, sir. Localhost something. Say HTTP localhost URL you can pass here.
Okay. So while connecting
Yes,
with
sir.
the database, maybe the MySQL or Oracle, whatever,
Yes, sir.
we need basically URL, user ID, and password for particular database.
Yes,
And
sir.
those data we can provide inside the application.properties file. And
Yes, sir.
one things we have to do is, like, we have to add one dependency which is auto will manage, and it will configure the database connection. So for that we need particular driver, which is maybe the MySQL or maybe the Oracle driver we have to add as a dependency in our application, so that it will
Yes, sir.
automatically configured based on the whatever the parameter we have passed inside the
Yes, sir.
application.properties file. Do you have idea about what is the profile in a Spring Boot?
No, sir. No, sir. I am not idea, sir.
Any idea about application.properties file, application.yml file?
Yes, sir. I know, sir. Application dot XML just dot YML, sir. We can, sir, write in YML. That's, sir. We, sir, create just for, sir, or like, sir, sub application dot YML. We can write, sir, anything. So YML, that's, sir, auto configured, sir. That's, sir, working, sir. Just, sir, those things we can write in there. That's, we can write in, sir,
Okay,
application dot.
so for profile we are using for the, like, we in our application having a multiple environment like dev,
Yes, sir.
QA, and
Yes, sir.
productions,
Yes, sir.
UAT. So for
Yes,
all
sir.
those productions or all those environment, we are writing a different application dot properties file.
Yes, sir. We can, sir, write. We can define, sir, in our SRC, sir. Just for local use, we can write our SRC, sir. We can use like dollar and something, sir, value we can pass there. That's, sir, fetching.
Yeah. So in
Yes, sir.
every environment having a different database
Yes, sir.
connectivity, different test data. So for that we are using the profile, and based on the environment we have to call those particular profile and we have to activate it. That's it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
And
sir.
one more things I have to ask, like
Yes, sir.
in database, you know MySQL, right?
Sir, I think your voice is not clear.
Okay, so in
Hello.
database,
Yes, sir.
you know MySQL.
Yes, sir. I know, sir.
Any
MySQL.
other database, do you have idea about it?
No, sir. I'm not idea about any other. I
Okay,
only
fine.
work on sir MySQL.
So in MySQL, out of 10, how
Yes, sir.
much you can give yourself as a
Sir,
rating?
same in sir SQL, same Java like same sir.
Okay, 7. And in a
Yes,
Spring
sir.
Boot, out of 10?
Sir, in Spring Boot, sir, I think sir we can say same sir. Same in Spring Boot, sir.
Okay, 7. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. Thank you so much, Aryan.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I have done from my side. Do you have any questions?
Okay, sir. No, sir. No questions.
Okay, so your interview will done finally.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Now you can ask me any questions.
No, sir. Not.
Okay. So I will give one feedback, like only thing is like you have to, like, you have an idea about each and everything. That is fine. That is good.
Yes, sir.
But only things is like you have to take less time and give the proper static answer. It means you don't want
Yes,
to
sir.
give something like zigzag. You have
Yes,
to
sir.
talk about point to point, like, okay, this is what and this is that. So if you give the
Okay, sir.
straightforward answer, that means the interviewer will give you a good response on that, and he will also understand, okay, he have a good knowledge. But if you give
Yes, sir.
something zigzag, then maybe he not understand what you are saying.
Yes,
He
sir.
will also confuse, and he will ask some other question related to that. He will
Yes, sir.
go
Okay, sir.
in depth, like what he saying, what he tried to uh, saying that, like, what is this. So he will like ask you in depth questions. So try to avoid those mistakes. Only you have to touch those points those he asked, related to that only,
Okay, sir.
and only say any word those you know. For example, I ask some questions like immutable. Yeah, something
Yes, sir.
called what is the string buffer is a mutable, thread safe.
Yes, sir.
So if you
Yes,
add
sir.
one word like synchronous, asynchronous, then he will ask it,
Yes, sir.
okay, what is the synchronous, what is the asynchronous. So you have an
Yes,
idea
sir.
about synchronous, asynchronous, then only you have to tell those words. Otherwise, you try to skip it, so that he will not
Okay, sir.
ask those questions. Okay, so those things you
Okay,
have to
sir.
avoid. And in Java, it's a good. You have given everything. It's a good response. It's a out of 10, 7 is nice, and you have performed it nice also. But in
Yes, sir.
coding, you taken some more time. So
Yes, sir.
please try to reduce it. You have to do that quickly, like
Okay, sir.
you don't want to take lots of the times, because he will not give that much times whatever I have given. He will
Yes, sir.
saying, okay, let me ask some other questions, skip it. So whatever the
Okay, sir.
coding is saying, you have to do that quickly. So you have to do something practice, so that it will happen.
Okay, sir.
And in Spring Boot, you have to do one
Yes, sir.
CUD operations.
Yes, sir.
Do you have idea about CUD operation?
Yes, sir. I know, sir.
Yeah,
Crowd
so
operation.
simply what you have to do is create one CUD operation applications using a Spring Boot
Yes,
security,
sir.
using JWT also. I have
Yes,
not
sir.
asked the questions because you are not giving the correct response in the Spring Boot. So because of that, I have not
Okay, sir.
touched the Spring Boot security part. But you have to aware
Okay,
about
sir.
it, because you have a 2-year experience, and as a 2-year experience, you have an idea about a Spring Boot security, what is the JUnit test case, what is the Spring Boot
Yes, sir.
profile, what is the,
Okay, sir.
also we have to include what is the Swagger, okay,
Yes, sir.
and what are the database connectivity we have to done, okay. In that you have
Yes,
to
sir.
good knowledge, because right now in the industry we are using the JDBC template. JDBC is
Yes, sir.
outdated. We are not using the JDBC, which is Scratch JDBC. We are using the JDBC
Yes, sir.
template. We are using the JPA. We are using the
Yes, sir.
Hibernate. But if you know JPA
Yes,
or
sir.
JDBC template, that is fine. Only things
Yes,
is
sir.
you have to do the like
Sir,
connected.
I know also JDBC, sir.
Sorry.
Sir, I also know, sir, JDBC, sir, and everything, sir, in there, sir. JPA also, sir.
Yeah,
And
that is nice.
Hibernate, I didn't work, sir, in Hibernate.
Yeah,
Sir, I'm trying to learn, sir, everything, sir.
yeah, that is fine. And also try to remember like what are the annotations we are using while handling a global exceptions, okay.
Yes, sir.
Like we have 2 3 annotations, we have to remember it, and it's a really one of the
Okay, sir.
most important concept, okay.
Yes, sir.
And you can create one project with the help of a Spring Boot security, a Spring Boot JWT, and one card operations combined, so that you
Okay,
can
sir.
get some good idea about it. And it's nice. Overall, it's a nice. Anyone can select it, you, no issue. But
Okay, sir.
only things is like you have to do some refreshment in the sense, just go with all those concept and check it out, okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
And you can give the interview. Best of luck, okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
And
sir.
you get job very soon, okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, nice to
Thank
talk
you,
to you.
sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.